you will never, ever guess how much I paid for a damaged Xbox One S on eBay. Hi guys, Retro Tech Ralph here, and if you didn't guess that while the titles were going up, I bought this, an Xbox One S. I have an X, which I got donated from Uzo John, thank you very much. I have a Xbox One original that was donated via BFET, thank you very much Tim. This is the middle ground between both of the original and the X, which is the S. It's a good 4K player. And this I bought on eBay. It suddenly appeared out of nowhere and then went straight in my basket and got bought. So this was actually, if you guessed it right, this was £25. 25 quid. It looks nice and clean. The seller says it just turns back off. That's all it does. It comes on and within a few seconds it turns back off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the cable, which is there. I don't need the HDMI because it's just going to do what it wants to do. So that's on. I'll hold that up, turn the socket on, and here is what it does. Sounds good. The fan can't hear it at all. Is there a light at all? I buzzed that a little bit then. Something's trying to move. Well, this is awkward. Sounds like there's no disc in there. Hold and press and hold. Nope. Press and hold. Nope, press and hold. It really doesn't do anything, does it? Oh, there we go. I've got a white light. Although it turns itself off. So I think that I was hoping that this may have been, see, that took a while. Ooh, that lasted longer then. That's quite weird. I can feel buzzing and something inside here, which is probably the hard drive. I think the reason why I bought this was, one, it could be good for parts. Two, I've had a disastrous run with the Xbox, not the Xbox, the PS3s. So, yeah, that didn't really help at all, although there will be future projects. And I'm due a win, at least, anyway. Now, the only problem I can see with this, and I think you might have already noticed that anyway, is somebody has already been inside here. This is, I kind of thought from the pictures was half of the label was there, but the sticky stuff is still there around the warranty. But that is the plastic from this part here. So I thought this was a screw together one, because like the 1X, there's 2 screws there, and then you take off the entire back, and then you can take off other bits and bats. But this has no screws at all. Kind of weird until you're inside it. Looking at the actual ports, power supply, yeah, it definitely works. HDMI, that looks quite nice. So does the one next to it that we don't really use, although that would just look a little bit more used. USBs look fine. Yeah, everything looks fine. Network looks like it's never been used. Yes, and let me just look at the ports a bit more closely. Okay, all parts are there. And all parts are there. So it's not going to be a HDMI socket replacement or anything like that, which is good. Now, this is my first Xbox One S, and I've already read up on how you're supposed to take these to pieces. So this might be easier if somebody has been in here. But this kind of clips on, and according to the person I watched the video on, he's had many of breakages. So everything's clipped, which is quite weird. I think the plastic ones aren't too good. Ah, there we go. So I want to put one in there to maybe just hold that in place, and then keep coming down, and then popping off others till they get to the other side. Maybe it does apparently, yeah, sound like it's breaking, which I don't like the sound of. So this is awkward. I need a stronger spudger. Ah, there we go, another one. So you come down the side. I'm going to leave that one in there. Try and come down this side as well. Yes, it's just getting rid of the clips, so I'd get rid of both sides and the back first, then come around the front. Yeah, that's getting easier. Round to the front now. Honestly, this is my first attempt at this. Don't like that plastic spudger. It does sound like it's breaking. I'm trying not to. Oh, I just dented that there. I think I have. Okay. Very cheap plastic. Trying to pull up at the same time as trying to rip out. It's quite awkward to do. I was hoping that would just come off by now. Oh, this sounds shockingly bad. Oh, there we go. Right. So that, surprising to me, is that's the only bit where it's chipped off. Although, is that actually? Yeah, possibly definitely broken on there. But I can't see any white plastic anywhere. Bit of foam for the middle. Right, okay. So with the spudger on the floor, that's the bottom out. Model 1681, hello from Seattle. Hello from Sheffield. So we have lots of screws. We have C's, F3s, F1, F2, F3. I love the way they number these. I'm not sure if A is meant to be the first or the last, but I'm going to get some screwdrivers together. Looks like these are hex screws, hex, yes, and yes. So I'm going to get my cutting mat and just try and undo these screws and try and put them exactly where they're supposed to be. F's look like they're all green, which is nice because PlayStation do an arrow to certain ones. C's look like they're a little bit of white gold sort of colour. C1, C2, C4, B1, C3, C1. There's a slightly different colour between the C's. Oh, that's the not, the B's. This is confusing. So with everything out, and this is the configuration these go to with looking at that way. I have to turn it around apparently. Open up the back a little. And then lift up. Have I got anything there? No, there's nothing there apart from just physical. This is really quite clean. I do think somebody's been in this. That's why it did seem quite easy to get inside this, but a little bit of dirt on there, a couple of little bits of food. Yeah, this has been sat in here for quite a while, so the COVID risk is 0. So yes. So all the screws are out. I need to move that away from here instead of destroying anything. And to start taking off, actually the metal part can come off here, can't it? Okay, so that's all clean as well. Everything's out at the moment. So we found out exactly what the drive is. It's only a 500GB. Would have liked it if it was a 2 terabyte or a 1 terabyte. That looks fine. Board on the side. Do I need to disconnect everything? I don't know. Cables down there, power supplies there. Is this a case of this is broke for a certain reason? I don't know. These always remind me now because remind me exactly like the old Xboxes, because they're just a hard drive, a disk drive, a power supply, and you're done. So it's quite nice to have gone back to a very simplistic part. So I'm trying to take that hard drive out and I can't. So I'm going to take it off the board. Instead, take that power cable off and the SATA cable. This is very, very clean. This is very odd how it is. That should come out actually. It should just be pushed in, but there's an arrow on there pointing that way. I shouldn't That shouldn't come off anyway, but it's screwed in place anyway. It's a potential hard drive fault with this. Potential it's also perfectly clean. So this also wants to come out as well. The power supply, but it doesn't look like it wants to come out very easily. Although there are numbers. Fans 1, this 2, the hard drive's 4. So do we do it backwards? 4, 3. Comes out that way. So the power supply needs checking. Because if that's got a capacitor blown, so be it. I can't get that out at all. I can't even get the fan out either. That bit looks like it slides in, a little bit of front there. Why will that not come out? This back bit is permanently in, because you can see these plastic bits down here. So I'm not going to attempt to take that out. To get the solder for here again, and the power lead for the disk drive, and that comes out. It's nicely compact, isn't it? Okay. So at least there's no cleaning on this. Right, that's got to be the heatsink on the chip. The clamp's already gone, and I do need to take this off. The side, yeah, it's the side. It's the side I couldn't see. So push that tab in and pull off. So potentially that's the problem as well. Okay, so why won't that come out? I've got all 4 bits out. So I want the motherboard out. Something I am probably missing is that wants to take off and that wants to take off. Right, the main screws on this on here are all T10s or they're T8s. I think these are all T10s. Yes. No, they're T8s. On the front and on the side look the same T8s as well. So I'll remove the Wi-Fi card. Actually, why is there no aerials? Is there meant to be aerials on this? I would have thought so. And what's that? Another one over there. Still can't explain why this will not come off. There's no screws holding that in. No screws holding that in. Okay. And that's connected. How is that connected to anywhere? That's quite weird. Because that's connected with that connector down there to the side bit. This front bit looks like it's just... Oh, it's there, you blind bugger. Right, so that's why it won't come off, because that's holding it down, that's holding it down. So I'll take the 2 expansion boards off, remove that, so get this in the centre, and we'll carry on going. Right, with those 2 boards off, the Wi-Fi and the controller board, it's now almost ready. There's a clip here, which kind of, I have already pulled it off, and that's why it's bent a little bit, so I bent it back into shape, and it'll click in place, covering over the USB port at the front. So that's nicely ready to done. So, I lift up and pull towards me, which then, I'm kind of shocked how clean this is. For £25, alright, I'm going to go on about it all the video, by the way. 25 quid for it not working. It could be many things. Even the fan's clean. I think they've done something with the fan, haven't they? So I need to get down and see what the thermal pads are like. And since I don't have, and it was ordered, I don't have a X-clamp. Oh, hello. I don't have an X-clamp removal, although that one's already out. So that saved me a little bit of work. You can still remove these anyway. Screwdriver underneath and then pop off that way. That is an easy way of doing it. If not, get an X-clamp or get a eBay bargain. That's already got one of them out. So, okay, so that's off. And the board is now free. So, paste-wise, yeah, that's dry. So it's a good bet that this is kind of either the fan's not working or potentially this is very dry. Yeah, this one's replacing with something a lot better. So what we will do then is visually inspect the board just to see if anything's amiss, anything's blown up. I like to look at these chips and then think, if you can see the writing on them, they usually haven't overheated so much. So you should be fine with them. Can't see anything on these here, but most main, I think these are memory chips. I'm not 100% certain. Capacitors look fine. for the age of this. Actually, when was this built? Have we got a year on this? There's a little bit of gunk and crap round here, but I don't think it's ought to be concerned with. I will put some isopropanol on the back of this board because that side looks fine, and I will clean off this best I can. It's a bit strange how if somebody has been inside here, that's why the warranty sticker's gone, is why would they never replace this? Why would they replace this? So it is very dried on. Odd. Very odd. This is either going to be an exceptionally easy fix and an absolute bargain. Again, £25 on eBay. Let's have a look on eBay. I mean, it's just to see if it was with or without postage. I'm not sure if it was. I know it came yesterday, and it's tracked from Birmingham down to Brighton, up to Sheffield, and back down again. Quite odd. Yeah, it was £25, then on top of it, £6.85 delivery. So yeah, fine. The seller did say faulty Xbox One S. And the actual description is faulty Xbox One S. It switches switches off itself after turning on. But for parts, this is quite a bargain and a half. I'm not going to clean this off, so I'm going to need to take out the thermal paste, and there's no real need to do much apart from clean that, and we're done. Can it be that simple? 5 minutes later. The chip is now nicely clean, very, very spotless, and so is the heatsink. So that heatsink goes on, which way around? That way, okay. So it's the power cable in the corner goes to there. So what I need to do is, I've seen plenty of videos where they go on about, oh, it's you need to spread it, or you need to do a dot, or you need to do an X. I like to put a nice, generous blob in the middle. And I don't like to say the perfect amount of thermal paste, although I do subscribe to Tronic's Fix, and I think these videos are brilliant. So, make sure I'm blowing, make sure no dust gets onto here. I'm going to put a tiny little... let's try and see if you can have a go at me for doing this wrong. I'm going to put a tiny little like size of a grain of rice in the middle, because when it's on top, the fan on top, it will squash it to the edges anyway, but... try and go that. That to me looks absolutely fine. Maybe a little bit too much, which is odd. So it is a bit too much, that, isn't it? Do I take some off or just risk it? There's no harm in ever doing more onto, it's not liquid metal at least. So the question is, to or not to? I think that's fine. We'll risk it. We'll risk it for a biscuit. I can always put this on and take it off and see how badly it gets. So I need to get that back on. And I'm going to lift up and let it just naturally squash itself on there. It will be more than that when it's down to it. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it as is. I can't see anything squirting out the sides, so I think we're okay. So I could really have done with not moving that. So you can just push these on, although it is a bit of a... I'm trapping air underneath this, I know I am. This is an awkward clamp. There we go, 2 in. Actually, I think that's 3 in. No, that's 3 in. There's no tension on this whatsoever. Okay, that needs to be over here a little. That 4th one. Maybe that's the reason why. There you go. 4 in place. Now, can I see anything squidging out? Oh my god, it's absolutely spot on. I can't see anything coming out from where the heat sink touches. You can see... Oh, I can't even get the angle right. Yeah, the chip's there. I can't see anything coming out. So it looks like it should be good. With all 4 now on there done. So I'm going to give this a bit of a clean. Isopropanol can be as generous as you want. And my electric toothbrush. Just cleaning, doing nothing over the top. Looked like there was some residue. Hopefully, it's not water damage. I can't see any damage at all in this board. It was just that, but wasn't holding the heatsink on properly. This is just to get rid of that. I mean, I do actually like using a toothbrush, because yeah, a toothbrush normally is scrub, 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 but having one of these Oral-B's that's twisted, it gives you a little extra level as well, and it tells you when you're pushing too hard, because that turns red. Yes. So what I'm going to do is put the air blower on there, dry the isopropanol off, and see if there's any more of that residue left on there. Oh, that's not bad. A little bit of residue on there. It looks like it's, I don't know, it's hopefully flux. Maybe thermal paste, maybe the guy had this before, was a little bit clumsy. I'm not even sure the clamp's not on right. That's on right. That is. That fourth one isn't. So I need to just adjust a little. Oh no, that's not right. Ah, there we go, it just popped into place. Good. Because it wasn't in the notch for the bits there. And there is some flex on there, which is quite concerning. But hopefully, with it being screwed in place, we'll lose everything. That's a bit weird, I can still push things down. And maybe the clamp's bent? No, that seems fine. There's enough pressure on there to do what it needs to do before I start screwing things back in place. So now the reassembly then. So I need to put together a certain way to test it, to make sure it comes on and doesn't go off again. So we're going to put this together a little bit. There's the front, put the power supply, the drive, the disk drive. I don't think these work without having all four back in where they're supposed to be anyway. So what I'll do is make sure that fan's in place and put everything on so I can at least test this. Now, I thought, well, I might as well put it together in the case. So it's in the bottom metal case. If this goes well, all we'll do is re-screw everything back in together and it's absolutely perfect. The boards are on, buttons in this top corner here. Everything's plugged in, that's plugged in, that's plugged in, these two plugged in, yeah, that's fine. So all I need to do is turn the wall switch off, because I don't need to be electrocuted. Plug this in to the mains. Lick my fingers and hope for the best. So, and on. Now, oh, okay. That's actually, weirdly enough, a good sign. The fan goes off on its own, without touching anything. So, all being well, that's going to spin and it's going to stay on. All being bad, then it's going to turn itself off again and there's another problem. Could it be as simple, I know this is now aiming for a fall, could it be as easy as the clamp wasn't attached properly to the heatsink and the thermal paste was drier than a dry thing on dry street? Come on, one, need one. The light is very light. The light is... Oh no! That's literally the longest it's ever been on. It's still light. You can see the reflection of my thumb. Damn it! Right. Let me try something. No disc in there. That's a shame, that would have been such a easy, good fix, that. Why is the fan not trying? Come on, try. Okay, so the power supply seems to be fine. I need to try and plug that in and test that one to see what's what. Maybe it's a hard drive issue? I don't know. Why am I still touching things that are live? See, there's a lot of these which there's an update issue. So, isn't it? I think it's power and eject together. Oh, not me that. Lights on. Turned off, but lights on. Fan is not going on. That is the strangest thing. Okay. more testing required. I need to get this into a safe mode, and if it's definitely the hard drive, which can hear it going, then this could be just that. And I have a spare drive. I've got an SSD that I was going to use for the PlayStation 3s. I could replace that easily now without any problems. So, actually I could take that out and test it on the computer. Alright, so what I'm going to do is test the hard drive, because I've got a funny feeling it might be that. And we'll come back to this in a second. I've had a breakthrough. I've took the hard drive out. You've got to take these bigger screws off and then the small screws holding it to it. But I was going to test the hard drive. But with the hard drive out, press the power button, and these I've put most of the screws back in because it seems quite easy. It's something on here, not the board. So turn it on. Fan spins up. Okay, same as before. The light's still on. You can see on the cut, and then the fan carries on going. I've got the right channel on. I've got the HDMI in. I do cut myself a lot doing these videos. It's still going, but it's not being able to read from the hard drive because it's not fitted and it's not there. So I'm going to just... See, there's nothing stuck on the screen yet, and I don't want to plug this in straight away just in case. I mean, I could use the socket for that, because that's just another SCSI drive adapter. But the power one's different for both that. Right, so it shuts itself down, which is fine. It's done what it needed to do. Let me see about just reattaching. I thought I heard the hard drive going. So if it is a hard drive fault, yep, I've got something I can use. I can feel that, but that's also crunched as well just then. So I think I can hear the head. Right, I'm going to take this off, test it on the computer. I can take that off like that and see if it is. Worst case, this is going in. So it's similar, 500 gig, yeah, what we do. I would like to do a bigger hard drive, but if this is the only problem, then I've already got the solution. Now, what's odd is I've got it plugged into the computer, the screen's in front of me. It's not recognised the drive whatsoever. So, that's the weirdest thing. I've got Crystal Disk on there, and it should have seen it. It shows my 3 drives in there, C, D and E, but it doesn't detect anything else. So I'm going to plug in this SSD before anything else. It's pretty much okay. And I'm going to turn this on. Whether or not I need a disk to actually, a USB to put files onto that, I don't know yet. But let's see what happens. Fans on. Might be also with the format of that anyway, it might not be very good. Spin. Spin. Thank you. Ooh. Oh, hold on. Okay, this is frustrating. I might not even be the right format, to be honest. Yeah. I think it's the SSD. I need to put some sort of files on there. So I'll go away again, get this drive rigged up so it has got an operating system on it or something like that. And yeah, this might be the solution. Right, I am trying everything and anything I know. I've tried going into safe mode, it's difficult. I've tried going to this mode, that mode, whatever else. I've tried plugging in all sorts for the controller because I can't get the controller to work with it. I've got it running at the minute. Oh, but the screen keeps showing me it's 80% in an update, which doesn't help. I think it's a stuck update, or it's the hard drive that's gone. At the minute, updating again, 76%. Over here, 77. Off again. So something's definitely not, it's not enjoying life. The heatsink isn't really that hot to shut it down. But the power button now, for some reason, is working just turning it on. So it is in a safe mode, 76% And that control's not working. Old 360 is not working at all. So I'll keep doing this. I do have a wired. Oh, I have a proper wired 360 controller. Oh no, it's back on that again. Let's see if it works with a standard 360 in port 1. There's no reason why it should, to be honest. Right, it's back onto normal. So I'll press the bottom, this pair button, and then the power on and turn it off. And you can't see because I've got it over the edge of the desk. And it comes off again. So I need to wait a second. Press the pair. Well, no. Press the pair and then turn on. But keeping hold of the pair button until... No, I don't want that noise. This will work. I have got... There you go. Now, I've got the... Yeah, continue, reset Xbox. It won't work. The controller will not work for me. And there's no battery on here at all. That doesn't light up. It's a shame it doesn't. And I can't even pair this thing to it. Hey, hold on a second. Come on, come on. I'm still doing something. Oh, I've got it paired. And it's just turned itself off. Oh, I thought I got it paired. I'm still flashing. There's some bits in this. This is really weird. That some bits is working, some bits isn't. I just don't get it. This is really frustrating. Thought that was paired then. Damn it. So, front again, power on. That's still flashing. Diddling, thank you. That's on, that's paired. Oh, it's moving, thank God for that. Alright. Troubleshoot, reset this Xbox. Keep games and apps and everything, yes. Now it's working. The light is still on. I think it's just got a failed update. If the hard drive is knackered, then so be it. Right, run update still again, 76%. The worst case, I'll take that out and put that in and try and install on there. Light is still on, the fan's turned off, so it's resetting. Oh, is this just a stuck... It's a stuck update. It's a frozen update. It needs fully resetting, doesn't it? Okay, more playing to do. Now, again, this is another jump cut, quite a big one. Right, I've been practicing, I've been playing around. This hard drive is toast. The one that it originally came with, it does something to my computer that I'm not happy with it, basically. And there's two of the partitions that are caution on crystal disk. So that's, let's say, fragged. Okay, so let's just leave it alone. The SSD that I bought, I have figured out something with these wonderful Xboxes. They like whole numbers. So I bought what I thought was a 500 gig. It wasn't, it's 480. Apparently these don't like that. They don't like change. They like either 500s, gigabytes, they like 1 terabytes, or they like 2 terabytes. So that SSD has gone back because I didn't want it, and there's better options that I can do for other projects anyway when I need them. So I've gone out and bought, and this is controversial, I know. I could do with putting a 2 terabyte SSD in this, and it would be nice, it would be fine. If I sell this on eBay, then somebody's going to have a very big hard drive. If I keep this on the shelf, and I have got an X, which is up there somewhere, and I have a standard one in the house, I probably won't swap this for that, because everything's installed on that and everything works perfectly fine on that one. So either excuse me, I'm going to keep this in here and go to the collection of everything that's shrink wrapped nicely in here because it gets cold and it keeps them nicely insulated a little bit. Or this will go on eBay with a nice good hard drive in it, 500 gigabytes. So I don't need to go anything more than what I've got anyway. So this should fit rather well. And it was only, I think it was £16 for one of these, so it's a good little swap out anyway. So far, £25, £16 in parts. Right, I'm going to link right up here, I would love it if I actually did that, a video for, this is from Mr. Mario. I've watched his videos tons of times, and it's how, and it should be a standard thing with Xbox anyway, of how to partition one of these, the exact what the full instructions between the Xbox One, the S and the X of what you need to do. And you need to physically plug this in, or there is a way to put it onto a memory stick. I'm doing the other way where I'm going straight onto the hard drive. So this gets plugged into the PC. Not even open. This gets plugged into the PC. Software on there does its nice stuff, puts the files on, partitions this into about 6 different parts, and then it should plug straight into this, and then it'll work. We hope. So, watch that video that I already put in the corner. I'll just put it in the links in the description, hopefully, if I remember. So you can go to that at this point now. So, with that in mind, I'm going to then plug this in, get this sorted out, and then ready to plug in and test and make sure. Oh, hopefully this should be an easy fix. Okay, we're halfway through the Mr. Mario video, which is great. It's a Mr. Mario 20... Oh no, I forgot his name now. Yeah, 2011. Right, so the hard drive has been done. It's been partitioned into 5. I've put it back into this caddy, so it's ready to go back in. I'm jumping forward a little bit because I need the USB. If you watch the video, I'd watch it fully through. It's half an hour long, but you can jump between bits and bats and get exactly what you need to get this fixed. So I'm going to put this back in here, plug it back in. It's not plugged into the mains, so jumping forward a little bit is fine for me. What is that in there? Okay, that's better. Always good for a blow. Right. So I'm wrong in every way, and I've just figured out that I've done it wrong, because that needs to go in there. Oh, Ralph. Okay, so I need to do, oh, yes. I done it really wrong. Here's a tip for you. Don't put the bracket on and then put the caddy part on, because you need to take the caddy part off, and then actually I could probably just take off the hard drive from the plastic part here, because it's kind of a little bit of a movement in case there's any problems. But I need to put the connector on before this plastic part is connected to the hard drive. So I'll do that now. The system update as well, I'm on for the USB drive. It's an OSU1. You directly get that from Microsoft. Links are in his channel description as well, so that's easy to do. And we're going to put that onto an SD drive, a little thumb drive. While I'm doing that, and then getting the actual card to get ready to see if this works, and it should work. Right, this is looking good so far. So after an immense amount of time doing the SD card, it's now still on 99% on the screen behind you, but that's fine, it's going to work in a second. So I have the Xbox here ready, it's plugged in, it's not turned on. Mr. Mario's video's on this stage now, so I need to go to the part where I turn this thing on. It's screwed back in place, everything's done. So I need to get the right TV channel. So that's on. Everything's ready, and I've got a controller ready as well. The fan just spun then, as you saw. Hopefully this should come up with... Alright, spun again. See if this works. Okay, it made the sound, but it did that before, but wouldn't power on. Won't light up either, that's weird. We have a light, we have lights on. I want the television to show me something. It's not playing ball. Light on again. Reading the hard drive. Oh, what is wrong with this? Something's definitely not happy here. Reading the hard drive well. Right, I'm going to try and do a little bit trying to get into safe mode. It's not worked either. Press and hold. Just does not want to work, this thing, does it? Okay, this is now a conclusion to this Xbox One S. It's nice, and I have little foibles I've been creating with this, like I was trying to do the updates and cleaning out all of the crap that does accumulate on all of this anyway. And for some reason, me putting warm air into this by cleaning out with my desktop air blower with a brush on the end kind of made this go for a lot longer, but it sticks on 66% of the update and 88% of the entire lot. So there are fixes for that. That doesn't work. I'm guessing that a lot of times when I plug this in, because I've been trying this for quite a few days now, it just pressed the button, ding, and then ding, and it's just the same power on button all the time, but it doesn't power on until it gets a little bit warm, which is a bit strange. So I'm kind of guessing there's something wrong probably with the power rail, or what people call the power rail. It's something I need to look into, and I can potentially do something with that. The new hard drive in there, I've got the disc plugged into the PC at the moment, and it's still showing up as a good drive. So honestly, I don't know what it is that's going on with it. So I'm gonna have to call this one a failure for the moment, or come back to this at a later date. I mean, it's a nice case, there's a couple of little bits here there that could be easily polished out. Everything was cleaned up quite well. So we'll skip over the Xbox One S for the time being and see what we can do. So yeah, leave it with me. I'll see what comes around. If anybody's got a good idea of what the problem with this is, or if it's just a brick, then fine, I can use it for parts for potentially getting some sort of projects going with repairing Xbox One S's. I don't know. I always wanted to get a console I could strip down for parts and then potentially do more with over time. So yeah, it's a failure at the moment, but let's see what the future holds. So with that in mind, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Consider being a patron. Consider donating something to the channel, whether or not it's a regular monthly amount, or whether or not it's a donation of something that's broke that potentially I can fix. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.